This is the formula for finding the values of x using the quadratic formula, which is minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We're going to look at 3 different examples. All of them are different, so they will teach you something extra that you need to know regarding different types of questions that you may be asked in an exam. We are going to solve to 2 decimal places wherever necessary. Now, the quadratic formula will appear normally on a calculator paper because you're asked to give your answers to 2 decimal places, unless it says to you, put it in a particular form using surds, then it may come up on a non-calculator paper as well. So if you have a look at this, what is your value of A, B, and C? So what's my value of A here? 1. So A, I will write down, is equal to 1. What's my value of B here? 3. So I will write B is equal to 3. What's my value of C? 1. So I'll write C is equal to 1. Next, I will substitute the values that I have into the quadratic formula. So we have x is equal to, now there's a minus in the formula, so that minus is already there. Everything that I substitute in, I'll use a red pen for it, okay? So what am I doing? Minus b. What's my value of b? 3. Okay, so minus b. Plus and minus is part of the original formula, so I'll have that in black. The square root is part of the original. So now I need to do b squared. So what's b squared? It's going to be 3 squared. 3 squared, like that. Minus 4ac. 4 times a times c. So minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is also 1. Let's just extend that. And that's going to be all over 2 times a. So 2 times my a, which is 1. So that's the first step, to substitute your values in there. Next, I will tidy up. All right? I will, work this out and collect them. Okay? So let's go and do that now. So x is equal to minus 3 plus or minus, there's nothing to do here. Square root. Now, what's 3 squared? 3 squared is 9. And then we can write this 9 here. And then we've got minus. What's 4 times 1 times 1? 4. So it's 9 minus 4. All over 2 times 1 is 2. Now, what's 9 minus 4? 5. So this is x is equal to minus 3 plus or minus square root of 5 all over 2. And that is done. Now, the question did say to give your answer to 2 decimal places. So all you now need to do is get your calculator and you need to do 2 different calculations. The first calculation would be minus 3 plus root 5 all over 2. The second calculation would be minus 3 minus root 5 all over 2. So you should get 2 different calculations, all right? So if you put that into your calculators, give me your 2 values of x to 2 decimal places. So minus 0.38, and the other answer is minus 2.61. So the 2 answers that you get, one of them is minus 0.38, and the other one is minus 2.61. And both these answers are to 2 decimal places. Let's do it on this one now. So once again, step number 1 is to identify your A, your B, and your C. So here my A equals 3. So A would be equal to 3. My B is equal to 2. So that's 2 there. My C, what's my C equal to? Minus 2. Well done. Now, step number 2, which is to substitute into your quadratic formula. All right? So once again, x is equal to minus b. Now, b is 2. So I could put it into a bracket like that. Plus or minus square root. And we have b squared. So 2 squared minus 4 times a times c. So a is 3 and c is a negative number minus 2. That's all over 2 times a, which is 3. Now we just go and tidy up. All right? So what do we have? We have x is equal to minus 2 plus or minus square root. So 2 squared is 4. Now here, watch what happens. Let's get rid of the sign first. So you have a negative here and a negative here. What sign would come out overall? A positive sign. So now what's 4 times 3 times 2? 4 times 3 is 12, times 2 is 24. So it's plus 24. All over 2 times 3, which is 6. Now we go and tidy up a little bit more. We add the 4 and the 24 together. So we get minus 2 plus or minus square root 28 all over 6. Just like before, get your calculators and you're going to do two different calculations. The first one, minus 2 plus root 28 all over 6. Second one, minus 2 minus root 28 all over 6. X is equal to 0.54 or x is equal to minus 1.21. So our two answers are x is equal to 0.54 or x is equal to minus 1.21. Now, let's go on to this last one. Have a look at this. This is currently not in this lovely form. So what will I have to do to this to get it into this form? I need to rearrange it by taking everything over to one side so that I have a 0 on one side. Okay? So what I will have, let me just get rid of this. So let's rearrange this. So we're going to take all of this over to this side because we want to keep the x squared positive. So what do we have? There's no x squared coming over, so that's going to remain. So x squared. Now the minus 5x is going to be affected by this coming over. So what's the 2x going to do on the other side? It's going to become a negative. So minus 5x minus 2x, which is minus 7x. 11, is it going to be affected by the 3 coming over to the other side? Yes. So what's it going to be, the 3 on the other side? A minus 3, yeah? So it's going to be 11 minus 3, which is 8. So it's going to be plus 8. And now you got 0 on this side, and you are dealing with your quadratic equation like that, yeah? So what's my value of A? 1. What's my value of B? Minus 7. What's my value of C? 8. Let's put it into our quadratic formula. So x is equal to minus what? Minus what? Now B is a negative number. Now the bracket will be even more useful to, now you can see why I use those brackets. Yeah? Because you know that this is going to have an impact on the overall answer, right? Then you're going to have plus and minus, which is that part, square root b squared. Once again, bracket is essential here, so I'm going to use it. So minus 7 squared is b squared. Minus 4 times a, so 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 8. That's 4ac. That's all over 2 times 1, which is the a. Now, let's go and tidy up now, okay? So, x is equal to, what's this give us overall? A plus, a positive 7. And the plus and minus remains. Now, what's minus 7 squared? 49, okay? Often students write minus 49. That's a mistake. It's minus 7 times minus 7. So the negatives, they cancel. All right? So it's 49. Now, we have, what's the sign overall here? Minus. There's nothing else like in the previous one. So it's minus. Now, to do 4 times 1 times 8, you can use a calculator, of course. But 4 times 8 is 32. 32 times 1 is 32. Okay? So it's minus 32. And then 2 times 1 is 2. All right, so now to tidy this up, so we get x is equal to 7 plus or minus, and 49 minus 32 is 17, all over 2. So your two solutions are going to be, the first one, 7 plus root 17, all over 2. The second solution is going to be 7 minus root 17, all over 2. Let's have them, please. So your two solutions, when you substitute this into the calculator, is 5.56 to 2 decimal place, and 1.43 to 2 decimal places. Now, if this question, like I said earlier at the beginning of this lesson, was on a non-calculator paper, then they can expect you to do all of this. You just wouldn't do this last part. It might say to you, leave your answer in this form. And that would be your answer. Here, that would be your answer here. And of course, I've deleted the other one. All right? So if it had appeared on a non-calculator paper, then it's perfectly acceptable for them to ask you to leave your answer like this, and you'll do everything that you've done, except you cannot calculate because you don't have a calculator on a non-calculator paper. Okay? So you just leave your answer here, like that, at this stage. And it will usually say to you in the form. Hope you enjoyed that video on the quadratic formula. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share this channel with your friends and family. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.